Hi, I'm Mark at the Caravan Place, and today we're doing the setup and review guide for the Swift Archway Caldecott. On the near side of the Caravan we've got an external 230 volt socket, so that'll give you power into your awning. We've got underbed storage or underfront locker storage. We've got an underbed locker at the rear, and we've also got a external barbecue point. That is connected to your main gas bottle in the front. We're set up for propane gas, and on here we've got the hand wheel, so you don't need a spanner. It's reverse thread, so it's just literally tighten that up by hand, pop your gas on, and that will supply the Caravan. Set up on 13 pin electrics on the Alco chassis, and we have got the Alco AKS stabilised hitch head. Moving on to the near side, we've got the vent for our Truma heater, so that's just literally a vent, you don't need to do anything with that. We've got the Truma pistol grip water pump. This is just a filler. Drop this into your aquaroll and push it in. The little blue clip, just make sure that's clipped in underneath, and that then when we put the water pump on, that'll pull the water through. We've got room for roughly 110 amp leisure battery, and then our mains is just at the side. We've got a little cutout for our cable, so that will just literally feed through as so. Just behind the wheels we've got our wastewater outlet, so all of our wastewater is going to come out of those two outlets there. At the very back we've got the filler for our flush water, so the flush water for the toilet is going to go in here, little watering can or a bottle, and it's pink chemical in the top. Our cassette, so where everything's going to go, is just located in the bottom. To remove this we've got a little orange handle that lifts up and the cassette just pulls straight out. We've got the little emptying nozzle, so we just literally remove the cap when we get to the Elson point on site, hold in, and that will empty out. That's just a little air valve at the back, so that'll let air out and just make that empty a little bit easier. When we put this back in, again we just need to push it fully in and just make sure that we're clipped in. Just tucked away up the top here is the little drain pipe, and now this is the drain for our flush water, so we'll remove the cap and that will drain all of our flush water. We'll want to drain this over the winter so it doesn't freeze up, and also before we tow, if there's too much water in there we need to just drain that off also. Moving inside of the Caravan, I'll just pop our awning light on. And then just above our door is our main control panel, so we've got our main power on and off. We've got our view level, so this will tell us whether we're connected to the mains electric, on the Caravan battery, and then what power we've got coming from the charger unit. If we've got the car connected on the 13 pins, we'd also get this one on the car lit up. We've also then got water pump. Now before we put our water pump on, there's a couple of things that we just need to do, and that is make sure all of our taps are in the closed position, and then our drain off valve, which again we want to drain the water system down if we're not going to use it for a fair time or over winter, again just to stop everything freezing up. Now to drain the Caravan, we pop that into the upright position. Left in the upright position, that will drain the system, open all the taps up, and the whole system will then drain. So when we come back into the Caravan, we just need to make sure that this is closed back off and we've closed all our taps before we put that water pump on. While we're underneath this bench seat, we've also got our main power unit. So we've got a main system shutdown, which over the winter, if you've disconnected everything, you might want to completely shut the system down. We've got our charger system, so this will turn the charger on, so when we're plugged into 230 it will run through the charger, charge the battery and run all of the 12-volt system. And then we've also got heating and hot water. Now at this point we'll want to put our main power switch on, and that will then supply our heating and hot water system with mains 230 volt. If this isn't on, there's a little icon on the main panel, which I'll show you in a minute, which won't be on if you've not turned this on. So when we come to that heating, I'll show you what that is. You've also got your trip switches, so all of our mains trip switches, and then also 12-volt fuses for all of our individual items as well. Just on the door, as we open that, it does tell us what our actual trip switches are for and what all of our individual fuses are for also. We've now made sure that our system is ready to put our water pump on. So to put our water pump on, then it's just literally press our water pump switch and that will put the power through to the water pump. As we open our taps up now, we'll start to get the water through the system. Now we have already drawn the majority of the water through, so we've got a decent supply of water straight away. If it had been drained down, so you'd left the system completely drained down of water, it is going to take a good 5 or 10 minutes to get all the water through the system, especially on the hot tap. We've got to fill that water heater up, so as we pull that water through on our hot tap, it's going to be coughing and spluttering for a good 5 minutes. We're going to want to pull the water through on our shower tap and our bathroom tap and just get all of the air out of the system, and do that on the hot and the cold. Once we've got the water through, we can then move on to our heating system and hot water system, which again, it's just above the door. Now what I was saying a second about underneath of that front seat where we've got our heating and hot water switch, that would literally turn the power on to our Truma heating system, and that represents then by the little plug symbol there. So if that little plug symbol isn't on, just make sure that we've firstly got power 230 volt plugged into the Caravan, and then also our little switch that was underneath the seat, just make sure that that's pressed in and it's illuminated orange. To use our system for internal heating, we just press the dial and then that will come along, and we've got the little symbol with the Caravan with the thermostat. Press that one and we can now set our internal temperature to what we want, and then it's just again press that again. If we want to put our hot water on, we go to the next one, which is again the little water symbol with the thermostat. We press that one. At the moment we're off. We'll then go into eco, so if we went onto a site and it had got a low power supply, we could run it on eco, not to use a lot of power. Our normal hot water setting, so if you go into a site and you've got normal power supply, we can just run this on hot. We have also got a boost setting, so this will boost our hot water for about 30 minutes using gas and electric if we've got the gas connected, and it will just boost that water heater a little bit quicker and get the water up to temperature quicker. For normal use, we'd run it on just hot, and again just a click, and we'll get just above then on the very top line, we've got our symbol above our heating just flashing to say that our internal heating is working, and then also our hot water symbol just to say that that's also running. If we press again, we can then select our power, so we've got a gas bottle and some electric symbols there. If we click into this, we've got gas on at the moment. We can then select a mix of gas and electric 1, which is a lower setting, a mix of gas and electric 2, which is a higher setting, or we've got electric 1, which is a low electric setting, or electric 2, which is the higher setting. So when we click that, we'll get the two symbols come up just to say that we're on electric on the higher setting. Coming along, we've got a fan symbol, and again at the moment we're in eco, and then we've got high. Now for during the day, if we want to heat the Caravan up, we can select high, and that will then put the blown air heating on with the heating and run the fan and blow the warm air around the Caravan. If it was an evening and we just wanted the fan on a little bit lower and a bit quieter, we can select the eco setting, and that will put the fan on still with the heating, but just at a lower setting, so you're not going to hear that as much. Another little setting that we've got in this Truma setting, if we turn our heating off, turn our hot water off, and then come back to the fan, we've now got a new setting. So we've got off, and then we've got vent. Now this goes from 1 to 10, and this will now work without any heating on at all, and this will just literally work as a cold air fan and blow cold air around the caravan through the vents without any heating and hot water, and just literally work as a cool air fan. To turn that back off, we'll just select again and back into the off position, and that then just turns the system back into the off position. You'll see now that along the top we've not got anything illuminated, just to say that everything's back in the off position. Moving on back to the kitchen area, we've got our gas hob, grill and oven. Now if we've just put a gas bottle on, or we've run out of gas and we're putting a new gas bottle on, this is going to be the easiest way to get the gas through the system, and the best way is just to literally turn one of the hob rings on, put it onto the big flame and hold that in, and that will then light up. We can physically see that we've got the gas coming through the system by using our hob, and again this is the quickest way. If we've run out of gas and we're putting a new gas bottle on, this is the quickest way to get the gas through the system and get all the air out of the system. And then if we're going to use our fridge or our heating on gas as well, it'll light up a little bit quicker. We've also got our grill, exactly the same. Just hit our igniter, and again we can put that on low or high. I'll turn our rings back off, and then we've also got our oven, which again we just select our temperature, hold that in, hit the igniter, and then we can select what temperature we want this on. What we must remember is that if we come now to put our glass lid down, we want to make sure that all of these have cooled down sufficiently and it's not hot before we put that glass lid down. Moving on to the fridge, over on the far left hand side we've got our main on and off button. If we hold that, we'll illuminate up. It will firstly go onto gas. That will then, after about 10 seconds, you'll hear this, a ticking noise and the flames start to burn. To adjust the temperature, we literally hold the grey button in, we'll click that again, and then we can adjust that temperature on the gas if we wanted to use our gas. If we hold the button back in again, we'll light back up on our gas symbol. We can then move on to battery if we were towing and we've got 13 pins on the car wired and we could run the battery, or we've got electric. So if we select the electric again, we can select what temperature that we want our fridge to run to, and then literally press it again, and that will just confirm that we've selected electric and we're on the highest setting. If we want to turn the fridge back off after finished using it, we'll just literally hold the off button and that will close everything back down again. We've then got the microwave, which again we've got our quick start button, our different settings. We can change the timer, the power, the weight. If we just click our quick start, that'll run for about a minute, and then to stop that and reset it, it's just back. Now we have got our microwave plate and other bits and pieces in here, so we'll want to make sure that these are removed for travelling, and also that the microwave plate, that if we're travelling, could come out while we're travelling. So just pop it underneath one of the seats and that will keep it nice and safe, and again it just stops that falling out and damaging our worktop at any point. We've also got the extractor fan in the roof, so we can extract out and we can also blow cool air in. So firstly we'd open up the top, which is done by this control dial at the side. We've then got our main off position, and then we can select either extract out, or if we want to come across and we want to blow cool air in, it's just the opposite side with the opposite arrow, and that would then blow cool air inside the caravan also. To turn that one back off, just back in the middle, and again just always make sure that when you've finished using the fan that you pull the lid back down, and again just before travelling make sure that's fully back down again. Around the caravan we've got different light switches and individual light switches on different lights, our little switches for our spotlights, and then again towards the back we've got our big ceiling lights that have got their own switches on. At the side we've got our sink unit light, and we've also got our bathroom light there as well. It has got a little individual switch on the bathroom light as well, so just make sure that that is in the on position, otherwise the switch won't work. Our bed locks, they've just got their own little individual switches on too. And then at the rear we've got our cassette toilet. So for the flush water on our cassette we've got the little blue button on the very top that will put our flush water through, and then to open everything to let it all go into the cassette we've got the little grey handle, and as we slide that to the back of the caravan that will just open it up and just let everything back through to the cassette. We do need to just make sure that that little grey handle is pulled right back to the front and closed fully off, otherwise if we come to remove that cassette that won't come out. Hopefully we've gone through all the setup guide and the review of the Swift Caldecott for you. If you get stuck with anything, obviously just give us a call. If there's anything that you need explaining in a little bit more detail, just let us know, and again we'll be happy to run back through with you. Thanks. I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.